Hey there traders, it's Jeff from thestockbandit.com. Thanks for joining me for this video. It's time once again to take a look at the indices as we head into a brand new week of trading. That's going to influence how individual stocks move. And so we've got to take a good close look at what the key levels are in the near term that might affect the indices. Now last week was kind of a mixed week. We saw the NASDAQ tack on just a few points, S&P barely higher. The Russell gave up a couple of points, but all in all, we really didn't make much of a move, and it's just been kind of choppy here of late. Now, we've topped out here recently for the NASDAQ. That's right up here at the 3213 level. Now, we sold off here, broke this rising trend line here, which really was about the 3164 area. And then on Friday, we finished just barely above that level. So basically for the last several sessions, since we broke that level, we've been just kind of dancing around it back and forth almost by the day. Now we've got the pullback low right down here for the NASDAQ, and that is at 3105. So we're kind of caught in the middle here of this short-term range. This is support down here. This is resistance. So keep a very close eye on upper resistance right up here. That's at 3213, and then we've got short-term support 3105. The way that we've been trading things inside the member area here at the site is to be hedged naturally by taking trades on both the long and the short sides of the market. That's giving us some good opportunities in both directions, but it's also allowing us to continue staying active while this market continues to kind of churn, and while we wait for it to pick a better short-term direction, because it's pretty messy out there. So if you're looking for some additional trade ideas to add to your own, of course, we offer a free trial here. We'd love to show you what we're all about. Let's move on. And S&P 500 also churning here, not far beneath its recent highs. That for the S&P is right up here at 1530. And we closed at 1518 last week, which really is right near the area where we broke this rising trend line here that went back into early January. So that had really been marking the pace of the uptrend, and we've moved lower. We've kind of carved out a short-term low right here. That's at 1485, and then we've got this key level right down here, 1474. So we've got a couple levels here to the downside to keep an eye on. On the upside, it's all about 1530. If we get through there, then maybe this high choppy base over the past few weeks serves to allow this index to continue pushing higher toward that all-time high of 1576. We've still got some room to run before we would approach that level. For the Russell 2000, this rally right here was really about a 21% increase in price from this mid-November low to this February high. And now since then, we've turned lower. We've broken this rising trend line here. And since then, we've been unable to reclaim that area. We've tested it a few times, but we haven't reclaimed it. And that's really around the 917 area. So we finished last week just a couple points shy of that. And yet we're also holding above short-term support right down here. That's at 894. We tested that to the number last week and then saw a little bit of a bounce. Now, will this bounce result in a lower high compared to this 932? I don't know, and it's not for us to determine whether or not that's going to take place. We just got to continue to evaluate the price action and wait for some resolution here to this short-term indecision. If we move back beneath 894, we'll be keeping a close eye on this 883 and then 868 level respectively. And then finally is the Dow, which is really kind of developing this broadening top look with this kind of megaphone type of pattern. And essentially, price moved higher and it churned sideways, and now it's just becoming a little bit more volatile. Now, we did go out last week at 14,089. Puts us about 109 points from an all-time high, which certainly isn't far for this index. We could be there in less than a day. However, this upper level churn is really indicative of some indecision here, and it's really most likely going to need the participation and the help and the strength and or weakness, some type of leadership from the other indices, most notably the S&P 500 and the NASDAQ. So there's a look at the indices as we head into a brand new week of trading. Thanks for stopping by. I will have more for you soon, but until then, trade like a bandit.